Hey, so I am learning that I love. Okay, back this way. I love talking. I love talking with video. Maybe it's this past year being more indoors, but I love as close as a face-to-face thing as we can get. So I decided to just do a video of our what's been happening this past week with going from homeschool to public school. So quick recap. I've been thinking about this for almost 2 years now. And even though it's the middle of the school year, we just decided to go for it for a few different reasons. First off, I love homeschool. I absolutely love homeschool. We have my son's in 4th grade now. I was homeschooled my whole life. We homeschooled him pretty much his whole life, and I absolutely love it. So why, if we loved it, did we switch to public school? A few different reasons. And I guess this is just kind of addressed to whether you're just like curious about like why we made the decision that we did, or maybe you're wondering, if maybe you're curious, maybe you also are considering switching to public school, or maybe you're currently doing the public school and you are switching to homeschool, but it seems like just a huge identity shift, a huge shift. That's definitely how it was for me. So why in the end did I choose to switch from homeschool to public school? I personally wanted the physical, everyday support with my children's academic education. Now, I am not saying that one is better than the other. I am just going to share my experience with it and what it's been like the first week, okay? So I just wanted more hands-on physical support. We have this dream of soon being able to travel the world and take homeschool on the road and be able to learn in lots of hands-on situations. And that is a beautiful thing that homeschool does. Something that's great with public school is I am able to wake up and we have a morning devotional with the kids. We take them to school and they're able to learn there. And when they come home, at least in the grades that they're in right now, when they come home, we can connect however we want to connect. Now that's the situation that we're in. I know some people, there's tons of homework that you're doing, but in this situation for us right now, when they come home, we can just connect. We can snuggle, we can play games, we can get caught up with, they can show me what they've been learning in school. We read books together, we can go outside, we can go out to dinner. It's just taken a huge weight off my shoulders of being the sole person in charge of their academics. Now, let me talk a little bit about reasons why homeschool is awesome, and then some more reasons why I've been loving public school this week. So a reason why homeschool is awesome is there are so many versions of it. There are so many versions. If you want that hands-on academic support, you can be able to go to different homeschool groups and do co-ops and my goodness, there's some where you have the kids go places 3 days a week and then they're with you 2 days a week. There are so many options with homeschool, especially now. It's not just the typical you're by yourself, doing it all by yourself in your little bubble all day long. If that's what you're wanting, that is beautiful. That is beautiful also. It is so nice to be able to create this sanctuary where you can be able to really have that personalized connection where you're learning through so many different facets of life. There are so many ways that you can do homeschool. One thing I love with homeschooling, I loved being the teacher. I loved teaching them how to read. I loved being able to wake up and be able to decide if it's going to be a fast-paced day or if it's going to be nice and slow and relaxed. I love being able to decide, okay, today we're going to be going hard with academics. And this day we are really working on our relationships and that soul side of life. I love that with homeschool. I love with homeschool being able to take things on the road. We traveled so much. We just got back from spending a month in Utah and a week in Arizona. And with homeschool, you can do that. You can just get in the car and you can go. You can be able to go to Disney World or the museum or the zoo whenever you want to, without having to wait for when schedules open up. It's just a life of hands-on creative learning, and I loved that time with my children. Another thing I love with homeschool is I love being able to see my children interact with each other all day. All day. They got to help each other with the schoolwork. They got to cheer for each other in performances and be able to do lots of bonding time because we were everything. We would have activities that we'd go to throughout the week, but for the majority of it, it was our family, really developing deep relationships with our family. If there was something hard that came up, you really just couldn't get away from it physically. You were there in that space, and we got to work through things. And I love that element with homeschool. Now, before, when me and my husband were dating, we were talking about lots of different types of schooling options. And we knew that there were both pros and cons with homeschool and public school. But one thing that we wanted to be is we wanted to be involved, we wanted to be engaged, we wanted to be a part of our kids' learning and their life. Not us leading everything, but a partnership of us giving that guidance and that mentorship, and our children being able to explore and discover and lead and be self-taught, and for us to discover what their passions were in life. I truly believe that can happen both in homeschool and in public school. So it's been our first week of public school, so I'll need to talk about it again maybe at the end of the year. But with this first week, backing up, the way that we presented it to our children, we essentially presented our vision of what we had in mind, and we wanted to make sure that we were all in alignment with it. We didn't force them to do public school, but we did present this vision that we had and the pros and cons, and we wanted to just give it a try. We wanted to give it a try for a year. So when we were aligned and we were on the same page, we then decided that we were going to go to the school, and we were able to get a tour of the school, be able to kind of get a feel for how it was there, be able to meet librarians, the teachers, just kind of step by step get involved with the school. And then day one comes, and it felt like Christmas Eve. Oh my goodness. We had our clothes laid out the night beforehand. We had breakfast prepped the night beforehand. Like, we were ready to go. So we woke up on time to our alarms. We got our bedrooms all cleaned up. We sat down at the table. We had this amazing breakfast together. And then Jason was able to move patients around. So we were able to go to the school together and drop them off, walk them in. It was just this beautiful flow for the morning. Then that was Monday. Tuesday was a little bit more rushed. We didn't have clothes prepped the night beforehand. Woke up, tied up our rooms, threw on some clothes, had to go get changed again because they need to make sure that they have their coats and their pants on and matching shoes. Oh my goodness. Sit down, quick breakfast, quick devotional, get out the door. Then the third day, we wake up, and it was just a morning. It was just a morning, and we had breakfast. I think we had a devotional still. I don't remember. A rougher morning though. Get in the van. My kids are brushing their hair in the van as we go. My daughter had a round brush. It gets tangled up in her hair, so I'm trying to pry this brush out of her hair the third day. Drop her off, give her tons of hugs, help her feel better, then send her off to school. Third day, it was like when they got out of school, it was like tons of energy that was pent up, that was needing to explode. So each day has been different. But honestly, that's more our experience with just the mechanics of school. But that's the beautiful thing. Like, whether you do homeschool, whether you do public school, you're going to have days like that. You're going to have moments like that when you feel great and you feel awesome, and other times when you feel out of control and you're at each other's throats and the hairbrush gets stuck in your hair. My younger daughter, second youngest daughter, she was put in underwear and not a diaper that day. So I drop off the 3 oldest, I take the 3 youngest to a play group, and I unbuckle her, she stands up in the van and pees. I'm like, oh man, what is going on? But that is all, again, that's just life. That is just life. That is life with it. With the actual school element at the public school, I have loved their teachers. I have loved their teachers. I was able to go to a PTO meeting yesterday and be able to just learn more about what they're doing in the school. And I feel like this school really is like an extension of my home. The way that they teach there, the way that they nurture the connections. I love the apps where I'm able to get pictures and messages of what's happening in the school. So while it is still a big shift, it's not as like scary, as life altering as I thought it would be. I still am able to connect with my children, be able to be a part of their education, be able to be learning with them. It's just a different way of doing it, a different system, a different dynamic. And I'm really grateful that we had this chance to be a part of the public schools this year. So that's been our experience. If you are considering, if you're in public school and you're considering switching to homeschool and you're like, it just seems so life altering, it seems like so identity shifting, post what it is that scares you the most. Post what it is that scares you the most and why you even want it. Start with that. Why do you even want it? And hold on to that. If you are doing homeschool and you've been considering the public school, again, same for you. Why do you want that? It can be a silly, simple reason. It doesn't have to be anything huge. When I was talking with my husband about this, he's like, are you like on the verge of like, are you like gonna have like a mental breakdown essentially? And I'm like, no, I'm not. But I can ask for support. I can try something new. I can have a change without having to be at a point of exhaustion and being bled dry and feeling absolutely depleted. And same with you. If you feel that way at the public school and you want to switch, that's okay. If you feel that way with homeschool and you want to switch, that is okay. Just dig down to your why and know that it's not going to be perfect and smooth and butterflies and carefree if you're homeschooled, just like it's not going to be perfect and smooth and butterflies and getting so much more done if they're at the public school. It really is, it's about you and how you go into it, and both have their pros and cons. So that's been our first week, and maybe I'll even ask the kids to share their thoughts of the first week also, but I'll keep you guys updated.